Power up, cunts.
I'm filming this. There we go. One of them bounced just over here somewhere. Oh, pity they didn't break into full anthem.
Moved it all.
I'm not sure if you guys can see this. That's a red belly black snake. I lifted up that old tyre to potentially use it as a fire drum or a fire ring, and it's right there. You can only just see its shiny little head sitting in the sun there. I know I'm very wobbly. I have to be very careful. My dog is only a couple of meters away. She hasn't seen it yet, but she'll have a go at it, and this thing will kill her outright. So they're not really known for killing people, but they definitely can. You know, considering we're probably a kilometre walk from safety, it's probably not a good place to be bitten by one. That's only a baby, so they can be even worse, and because they're in hibernation and they haven't been biting anything, they usually pack way more of a bite. So and this is where we collected, you want to just jump out of the way for a sec there, Keith? This is where we collected our fat wood just last weekend. I'll zoom out, and this is why we came back up here, to get a bit more fat wood. But it just goes to show this guy was probably here last week, and a little bit of a reality check that we do have danger on our doorstep. It's amazingly how small this snake is. Just watch the dog there, Keith, mate. It's so small that I can hardly even find it in the camera, but I know it's like right there. And like, that's how I'm literally, what do you reckon, 6 feet away from it, and it's so hard to, even when I zoom in, you can almost not even see it. I can see a little tiny bit of its scales shining in the sunlight, so they blend in that well. It makes no noise, and I guess, you know, that's what makes them deadly. You know, you just don't even know they're there. So I might have to put the leash on my dog and tie her up. Okay, so anyway, I'll go. Where is it? There. Okay, I'm literally probably less than a metre, about 1 yard away from that snake. You should be able to see it now in the sunlight glistening just there. I'm not really comfortable to get any closer than that, but I know we couldn't really see it in the last video, so I just had to get a little bit closer for you guys. And I've tied the dog up now. Righto. Good evening, guys. It's Saturday night. Had a good day today. Had an interesting day today. I was up the local bushland today looking for more fat wood. Took a mate of mine up there. He's never seen the fat wood, how to harvest it, etc. So we went up to the usual patch, and we got a bit of a surprise. I didn't have my camera set up with us what I did have is my phone, which I'm filming off today, right now. It's a Samsung. I've only been using my Apple iPad mini thing. That's all I know really how to edit, so I'm going to be learning how to edit off the Samsung phone. Don't know how it's going to turn out, but I've tried for the last 2 hours to send the footage I got off this phone today to send it to here. I couldn't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a computery phony sort of guy, you know. So anyway, I'm going to make do with this. I'll try and nut this out and edit it the best I can. Let's see. You will see at the beginning I'm going to play some kookaburras. That's a bird. They're going to do the laughing song, you know. We're pretty renowned for them. And we pronounce it over here kookaburra. And I've heard on lots of American things where they pronounce it kookaburra. It's not kooka, it's kooka. Okay, let's get that out of the road. Yeah, so the first video is the kookaburras singing, and a mate of mine, he doesn't know that I'm filming, and you know, he says something in there, but I don't really care anyway. Then I remind him that I'm filming. Then we skip on to 2 shorter videos that are joined together. The footage probably isn't the best in the world. We found a snake, a red belly black snake. They're not exactly a man killer. They can kill you for sure, but we have anti-venoms nowadays, and I don't even know if or when the last person was killed. I know that they really they will knock you around in a huge way, and you definitely need medical assistance if you get bit by one. But they're a dog killer. They will kill a dog, no drama at all. And I have my dog there. She'll chase anything. She's a cattle dog, Kelpie, I don't know. This might be a game for everybody. You can try and pick what breeds that she's got in her, but I believe that she's got Border Collie, Kelpie, and cattle dog. All working dogs, all sort of herding sort of animals. So it's her natural instinct to chase anything that moves, bail it up, stop it. You know, we take her hunting pigs and that, so she'll actually grab stuff, and she'll hold pigs up to about probably 50-ish kilos. What would that be? Probably, you know, 100 pounds or thereabouts. But many times I've had to try and get her away from snakes, because she doesn't actually try and kill them. She just bounces on them and paws them, jumps back in, out, has little snaps at them, and they have goes at her. And I think the only reason she's not dead is because of the thickness of her fur. I've seen her with numerous amounts of snakes, and they just go at each other, and she thinks it's a bloody game. So it was a real danger when we found this snake today. I'm glad that she didn't know what we were doing, and we were able to tie her to a tree and keep her away from this snake. We stayed around the area where the snake was. It's winter time here, so in the cold they're quite sluggish, they're pretty slow, so I knew that. And I wasn't overly too concerned with it. We had 2 sets of eyes watching it, although it did manage to slither away, and we didn't even know. We didn't know where it went, but pretty sure it just would have gone for cover. It was living under it would have been in hibernation, and it was underneath a car tyre and rim, and I seen the rim, and I was about to start a fire just to show old mate how the fatwood goes, and just another excuse to use my ferro rod. So I seen the steel rim, and I said to my mate, you got to be careful when you're picking these up, because you never know what's underneath it. I picked it up, red-bellied black snake. So you do have to be careful when you're picking up roofing iron, anything to do with old car bodies or just even logs, looking for fat wood, things like we seen last week. We got ants, wasps, and a big spider, and literally within a few meters of where we got all that stuff last week, red-bellied black snake. So if you're going to go up into our local bushland winter time, it's a time for hunting. That's when you can gather meat and it won't go off. So really, to me, winter time is hunting season. It's also the time where, sure, let your dog off the leash, go for wanders through the bush. We get to walk around with, you know, secondary thoughts to snakes and spiders and ticks and all sorts of stuff that, yeah, well, can hurt you, bite you, be a pain in the ass. Ticks are definitely something to be careful of for dogs. They, you know, paralysis ticks, they'll kill your dog. So I try to get in as much dog time as I can in winter, because, you know, we're only probably 2 months away, and pretty much I'm going to have to be more careful with the dog. And then as we get closer to probably October, mid-October, it's pretty much not really worth taking the dog up there and letting her run through chest-high grass and things like that. She will sniff them out, and then if she finds them, she might be 50 metres, 80 metres ahead of me, and it's almost too late, you know. So, and she's old now, so she can't move in and out like she used to. Just like all of us, she still thinks that she's young and fit and that, but really she's an old dog. So I got to be a little bit mindful of that. So anyway, another thing that I wanted to do is I need to do a shout out to an EMS. Okay, I was on Ron T. Sawyer's site and I was just going through some of his comments, and he's posted in the comments basically what I, you know, a shout out for, you know, a bit of appreciation, a bit of help or something to cheer him up, you know. I'll just read out what he wrote. It says, "My life has been really bad. I have some problems, seizures and depression. Seizures give me a lot of problems though, and I can never drive for my whole life. I have seizures every day. Depression also gets higher, and work really stresses me out more than other people. Hardly know what to do. Please give me a shout out to help my life." Well, I tell you what, I read that and went, well, the least I can do is give you a shout out, EMS, and, you know, bring this to your attention. Like, you know, there's not a lot I can do for you, mate, and obviously you know that, but if all, this is obviously like a Ron T. Sawyer's side is like a Fatwood Friday sort of, just general sort of Fatwood community sort of knifey sort of thing. So I'm assuming that EMS is also enjoys watching that sort of stuff. That's kind of what I'm pretty much into as well. Same sort of circle. So I'll just keep putting content out, and that's all I can really do for you, mate. But bring it to everybody else. They can say g'day to you if they feel like it. I told you that I was going to give you a shout out, and here it is, mate. You subscribe to me. It's the least I can do. So hopefully I can at least give you a little bit of a smile during your day, and don't know. So anyway, this one's for you, mate. Try and keep your chin up, mate. You know, that's all I can sort of say. So getting on to, this is probably dragging on a little bit now. But I made a couple of tent stakes today, and I was using my cold steel fin hawk. It's really the closest thing I've got to a sort of dedicated sort of bushcrafty sort of a knife. Wasn't doing hard tasks with it, just sharpening up the tent pegs, deburred around the top of them so you can hammer them in without it splitting, and I was just cutting in some little notches there. These were the first tent pegs I sort of whittled. No big deal, but what I noticed is, there's no way that you're going to be able to see this, but there is a small little chip. It's only very small, but there's a chip out of the blade. So it sort of goes to show that even just little sticks like this, that they're not even thumb thickness. Our timber's like excessively hard. I do believe that maybe the chip came from when I was doing the horizontal cut in here. Most of them I was using a hardwood stick and lightly batoning down and then just carving into the side and into it. There was one that I experimented with without using the baton, and I was pushing down and giving it a little wiggle, pushing down, giving it a little wiggle side to side to help sort of open up the size of the groove. I'm wondering if maybe that's where it sort of chipped. Because it's a really comfortable handle for your ice pick grip. It's got this little thin thumb sort of thing there. Yeah, I really like it. It's a really sort of nice, comfy, non-slip sort of handle. It's 4116 cold steel stainless. It's easy to sharpen. Seems to get a nice edge, and for general carving, it seems to be quite good. I don't know whether it was my technique that sort of chipped it, or whether it's just like, just everything's crazy hard, and you know, so I don't know what happened there, but I really like the knife. It's a shame that it sort of chipped like that. I do know that it's not the most full-on steel in the world, but it also goes to show that, again, I'll touch on it again, like, we can't sort of get away with willy-nilly just chopping into stuff with our timber. And actually, the guy that was with me today said that he looked up and was trying to find a hardness comparison between American and Australian timbers, and he found it on a flooring site. And he was basically saying that your medium hardness timbers, the American was down here and the Australian one was up here, and we're going to look back into this hardness graph, because we want to try and identify now what the softer timbers are in Australia, so we're not breaking our knives, and we can actually, like, you know, I don't know whether they're going to be common to where I live, southeast Queensland, but if we can identify and go, okay, these are the softer ones, well, it's going to be a lot easier on our gear, and we can sort of play like whittling games and things like that a little bit easier. And yeah, so anyway, I think I'll do another video about the slingshots and that later. I won't, it's going to drag on. So anyway, EMS, g'day. I told you I was going to, so I did it. And yeah, hopefully there's something to learn about the snakes as well. You just gotta, you don't have to be paranoid about them, but you just do have to be careful. And yeah, I'll catch up in another video soon. Thank you. Hopefully I can edit this and send it and it turns out okay. See you guys.